family is your first bond of trust. And when that family turns on you, ruins your mental state.
I'm called less of a man by my family. Society has branded a woman a certain way and a man a certain way. The real challenge starts when let's say two individuals from completely different backgrounds, they come under one roof. What is stopping people from evolving emotionally?
I can actually track it back to the person's parents and their relationship. What decision that is the most important decision of your life, the one life you get, and people just throw a blind eye to it.
Can you really trust them? Hi, John.
Hello.
Finally, huh?
Finally.
5 years in the making.
Yes.
Our first podcast.
Yes.
The OddHalves.
Yes.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited and anxious also. Either it's gonna go great or it's gonna give me more anxiety, I guess.
Okay, so first things first. Why OddHalves? Like, there are so many Indians and Pakistanis and couples all around the world. Why us? Why OddHalves?
Because I'm very confident about it because we did it, And when I say that we did it, I don't mean that we did it in terms of what most people will perceive that, okay, great, you guys have a wonderful family, kids, you guys have a stable life and a house and everything. That's not what I mean. That's something a lot of people have. When I say we did it, I mean that we have evolved emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, physically, how a couple is supposed to be. And at least for me, I have yet to see offline and online social media such a couple who has cracked the code. Maybe some 1%, 2% that we see. But I think those people are not very vocal about it and not on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why us. Why not?
I think that's a very deep point that you've touched because nobody talks about evolving emotionally. Everyone talks about money, a lot of tangible things, they don't talk about this because if you figure out this crux on how to evolve emotionally, it can change not only your relationship with your spouse, but it's with your children, with your business.
True.
It elevates you at another level.
True.
So what is stopping people from evolving emotionally, according to you? What do you think is stopping people?
Oh my God, that's like a lot of things, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think the most primary thing is upbringing. Especially being millennials. I'm trying to, if I may say so, I'm trying to unlearn everything that we have learned. But I think how someone is raised, how someone has absorbed the dynamics in their house, if there was a wonderful synchronization with their parents, if they have, some people actually are not brought up very well in their own house, but maybe they're going to look at one of their aunties or uncles or a neighbor and they kind of, take that. So first thing is upbringing, really, that are you raised as an emotionally coddled person? Emotionally coddled people, please, if you ever see me, don't talk to me. Or people who are completely emotionally avoidant, So that is that. And Other than that, I think your peers, your friends, a lot of other things also. So, but the first thing is that how you have been raised.
See, that's beautiful. I love what you mentioned. I love that. Okay, that it is true. But the whole emotionally coddled individual, I get that part. But let's say, where does an emotionally coddled person come from, right? So let's suppose it's a big family, right? A lot of brothers and sisters, cousins, and I think an emotionally coddled individual will be more common, let's say, in the Asian regions. I don't think there's a lot of coddling, and it's not even necessarily like I don't have to say it's middle class or upper class, nothing of that sort. It's normally someone who's surrounded, normally the youngest child. I'm giving examples. So it comes on a very broad bracket of individuals. How would you identify, like, again, who is the right person? Because this is a very broad spectrum that you've mentioned. So how would you identify, okay, this is an emotionally coddled individual? Let's suppose you've entered a relationship with an emotionally coddled individual. How do you move forward?
Be intelligent, be smart, like stop being so dumb, to be very honest. And honestly, the generation that we are talking about, we did not even have the resources, or we are from conservative times, Do you think that we had time to like understand people, or like even now? So if we talk about our countries, people have arranged marriages, like literally, and they come to know about the person later. But I think a person should have that sort of intelligence, that sort of tools. I think it should be a subject in school, honestly. For my kids at least, I would love this to have a subject in school where you can understand people. Why parents are not telling their kids to understand small tricks, and if someone is masking, if someone is being nice but their energies are bad, why can't you differentiate? And now even more so, people, you and me, see this all the time, every day. We meet so many people, and people are in dysfunctional relationships, and they kind of throw a blind eye to a person who is wearing a mask. You and me, we are third people, we are like a third party, and we can tell that this person is like somebody else, but they just throw a blind eye and just move forward. There are so many traits, attributes, like how people use that part of their brain when the money is involved. People involve that part of the brain when there is a materialistic interest, personal interest. But what decision that is the most important decision of your life, the one life you get, and people just throw a blind eye to it.
See, again, it's a phenomenal point, but yet again it's like, because we're not trained that way, right? We're not educated that way. Because, like, for example, a trajectory of a person, okay, he goes to school, he goes to university, he's hunting for a job. Now, at which stage do you start? Because it took me almost 10 years to start even identifying individuals. You're right. When it came to business, I really knew, okay, boom,
everybody.
Right? When it came to business, when it came to clients, yes. But in your personal life, to identify, okay, now when a person is in a relationship, okay, I believe during the dating phase, you show your best face, right? You're the best individual, best of your behavior. But the real challenge starts when let's say two individuals from completely different backgrounds, completely different families, they come under one roof. Right? That's when, let's say, two families are engaged. It's not just two individuals, two families are engaged. And like you mentioned, maybe one person is emotionally coddled, maybe another person is emotionally disconnected. We don't know. And normally it's these opposites that come together.
These are the people who get married.
Who get married. Now, because I come from the thought process that there are no two perfect individuals, right?
True.
You get together, and then somehow this is where that part comes, that emotional evolving.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's forget about our generation. Nowadays, people in their late 20s or early 30s, okay, they're really struggling with their identities and with their relationships. How would you guide them? How did you guide them through the process? Because this could change their lives. Because right now, people are running away from relationships, long-term relationships, marriages. They're petrified. I have individuals in my office, in my circle, people are petrified of relationships. So what advice or how would you guide someone who is struggling with their relationship, with their identity?
So I'll tell you something, John. See, there are two things, okay? One thing we did not discuss before, so probably will come to you as a surprise, but it just, I really want to mention it. So one is flexibility that I'll talk in a while, but the first thing is your internal satisfaction and fulfillment and happiness. Do you understand? If two people who come together are not even happy with themselves for a start, for example, and we have been through this, if I am not happy with how I feel with myself, if I don't take care of my health, if I don't take care of my mental health, I cannot even think about evolving in any way for the relationship. And similarly for a man also, if he is not healthy, if he is not taking care of himself first, then how do you think he has that energy, that mental space, that capacity to give it to his family or his wife? So first of all, the people who are not taking care of their own health, physical and mental, and I think you and me have been through a transformation as well, a physical transformation as well. But how much did it impact our mental health?
It's phenomenal, right?
Phenomenal. Like, I think it completely 180 degrees, and then probably things started changing in another trajectory. Like that is someone that people need to explore. And then the second thing is flexibility. The generation now does not have any sort of flexibility. They have egos are very high. They are what we have learned, what we think is right. And they are they have that mental block somewhere that they don't want to listen to their partner, to people like us on social media.
Yep.
In fact, people are listening to people on social media who are probably divorced, who have probably not any connection with their spouse, and a lot of people fall in that category. That's what, I believe in.
So you spoke a lot about self-love, self-understanding. So there was a time where the concept of self-love did not exist. Let's say our previous generation.
Good old times, I would say.
Not true. I mean,
good old times.
But what happened because of zero self-love is that there was a very disturbed household in terms of, I think they sort of passed traumas to the future generation because they were not happy with their own lives. Now, because everyone is talking about self-love, I feel like it's created sort of cracks in the foundation. So earlier, the foundation was very strong because it was built on love, trust, longevity of relationships. There was sacrifice.
Yes.
There was minimal self-love. The concept of our previous generation was love the children, live for the children.
Yeah.
But today's generation, it's completely flipped, 180 degrees.
Yeah.
It has flipped where individuals are self-love.
Comes first, which is you explained two extremes, basically. The previous, what we're talking about, our parents or grandparents and everyone, they were zero self-love, and then the love for the relationship, the love for the family, the love for the greater good, I would say, was a lot. Now the circle of self-love is huge, and there is a little tiny circle outside that comprises of love for the family, love for the spouse, love for your health, love for your for the greater good. And now it's all about self-love. These are two extremes. And I think finding the right balance is cracking the code. Finding the right balance where you have self-love as well, where you are self-fulfilled, where you are happy. Because honestly, Jan, it all starts from how you feel from your inside. And then you go ahead and then you work on your family. You give that entire thing to your family as well. So you need to draw a line somewhere at some point.
Because see, the society has given such a strong image on how a man should be, how a woman should be,
Yeah.
and self-love, that I feel like it's affecting the longevity of relationships, because patience levels. So what's the concept that, hey, I have something great going. I'm a man, I go to the gym, I have money, I have a nice car. If you can add value to my space, you're welcome, or toodaloo. So it's like, so this is affecting the longevity of relationships. Society has branded a woman a certain way and a man a certain way.
True.
And I feel like in the long term, this is going to really affect a lot of relationships. And eventually, I feel really sad for the children, because I feel the most pivotal requirement for healthy children with healthy minds are the relationship between the parents. There's nothing else that matters.
Very interesting point. You remember once we were sitting, we keep having these discussions just for the audience. Me and Zoe, we have these discussions, on our dinner table and all also. So once, I told you that, Jan, something very interesting I figured out, that whenever I see some person doing something wrong, whenever I see somebody, a male, female, adult or a child, doing anything wrong or weird or evil, I can actually track it back to the person's parents and their relationship. And I gave you an example, and I think I don't want to quote it on camera, but I gave you an example, and we knew the family, and I was like, this person did something really bad and evil, but you can actually track it back to the parents and their relationship. There's no other way.
See, now you've really come on to something, let's say, controversial and interesting. Okay. So in a relationship, okay, between two individuals, families and your friends play a very pivotal role.
Oh my God, that is such a touchy
It is, right?
situation for
It is,
me as
right?
well. Yeah.
Like, because it's kind of counter of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Technically, because see, when two people get married, all right, it's not just you and me getting married. My family is getting married to your family.
Which, by the way, is another controversial thing. People don't agree with this. I do. Honestly,
Yeah.
I do. But people are like, no. They bring in so many justifications. But yeah, you are right. Because a love of a grandparent and that whole family dynamic, at least we support, but
See,
to each their own.
but the negative, that's the positive.
Yeah.
The negative is that, okay, let's suppose I'm a kind, warm husband who loves his wife, I love, I don't know how to say lard. What is lard?
What is lard?
What is lard? Like, see, when a woman argues with her husband, sometimes it's out of love, it's out of possessiveness. It's because it's that person is yours.
Yeah.
I'm yours, right? And because you know that I'm yours, you can argue with me, and I enjoy that. I don't take it the wrong way. But if I'm that kind individual, okay, who enjoys that, okay, I'm called less of a man by my family.
Yeah.
So a man has been portrayed as that hard individual who draws a line and the woman does not cross that. He draws a square and the woman is supposed to be, and then he's a solid man.
Yeah, it is. See, I would rather than discussing family and friends separately, because family and friends for me fall in sort of the same bracket, because these are the two people that you spend the most time with. Either it's your family, either it's your friends. But if we talk about the family, Why the impact is a lot more? Because family is your first introduction to love. Family is your first safe space. Family is your first bond of trust. Family is your first bond of dependence. Family is your first place where you learn to express, And when that family turns on you and ruins your mental state by talking, or I would say feeding you all these negative things, a person should be strong enough to not be influenced. For example, I know I am strong enough. You know you are strong enough. That if someone comes and tells us that, how are you talking to your husband like this? Or how are you why, your husband is like, why is he allowing you to do this? And all of those things. We don't budge. But 80% of the people do. Men and women.
True.
And that they bring that burden, they bring that home, and it shows in their attitude. Because another thing that is ruining this frequency and any chance of things getting better is maintaining this image online.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For the kids, the parents have to show up. For their friends who also have a perfect family in their from their perspective, they also need to show up. Maybe the husband and wife are not even talking to each other from the past 5 days, but when there is a kid's birthday party, when there is a an event in the house, they need to show up as this connected couple, as this couple who is in harmony, as this person who is completely smitten by each other. What are you teaching to your kids?
To act.
And this is a toxic trait that at least our generation did not have, to be very honest. If our parents had a fight, the whole village will know. It's as pure, as transparent as it comes. Okay, fine, it comes with its own trauma, but if our parents had an argument, everyone would know. If they are laughing with each other, at least it was genuine. Now this entire thing of putting up a face in front of your family, putting up being that ideal couple in your family so that no one can taunt you, no one can, put you down. This is something that really bothers me. And you're right. A man is called a less of a man by just being nice to his wife.
Yeah, you're forced to live. So I want to come back to that point where a man is treated less of a man.
Yeah.
And people are having to live two lives. A life within themselves.
Yes.
And a world within themselves and the external world are two different, and that's creating cracks again. But similarly, how when a man is kind, so a person's personality, an individual's personality is definitely guided by the 5 closest people that's around you. So it's normally your family or a few friends, maybe 1 or 2 if you're lucky, if you have good friends, but they're the ones who influence you. So how a man is called a lesser of a man, similarly, I feel like something that's really affecting relationships is that when a woman who, see, for me, I'm crippled without your energy, okay? You have given me the biggest gift of life, right?
Literally, everyone's gonna think that this is scripted.
No. So the thing is, the biggest gift of life is peace and energy. At the end of the day, whatever people say on social media, okay? The biggest gift of life, and every individual, he may not, if he doesn't understand it now, he'll understand it 10 years later or 15 or 20 years later. He'll understand that the only objective of life is peace. And the only way to attain peace is, according to me, is if that woman's energy is taken care of, right? She's the core, right? How in your health, Your core is everything. People, there's no point of doing chest and squats and everything if your core is weak.
Yeah.
Similarly, your core is that woman's energy in the house. So a woman who takes care of the house, who takes care of the kids, takes care of the energies of the entire house, is not given due credit. If she's not given due credit by her own family or her own friends, that also I've seen, because what happens is, let's say,
I think if more you talk about this, I think I'm gonna cry.
no, because it's sad.
Yeah, it is sad because, okay, I think this is the wrong day to record this, but yeah, because it
I'm sorry.
no, it just because it has happened with me, very very close people who I love and who I admire, and and they have also told me that you are not successful, your husband is, which is really, really sad.
Yes.
Because and this is coming from people who are not married, who are not in any relationship, and who have, I don't think, achieved enough to point fingers at somebody like that. Okay, so when it comes to a woman, you're right, because what I believe is, and I'm going to say this once and for all on record, a woman who is a successful business owner, a single woman who is a successful business owner, I have a mad respect for you. Great. But if you're going to come and tell a married woman who has raised or is raising a very stable family, and the husband is doing great because she is holding down the fort, I'm so sorry. She is more successful than you. She is the most successful, admirable, inspirational, strong woman there ever can be. And there is only one reason for it. And the people who understand will understand. Because the woman who is a wife or a mother or both does not have luxury of anything. So if you're gonna come at a woman who has no luxury regarding her body, her mental state, her time is not hers, nothing is hers really, and you're gonna come and point finger that like what are you, your husband? No, my husband is successful because I have sacrificed everything. Mm-hmm. And for a woman to hear this from the husband, that you have given me peace, you have given me everything, it feels wonderful. I mean, I am extremely grateful, I am extremely humbled by it, but it took a lot, it took a lot, and no one understands that it's very easy for a woman to break everything.
100%.
But to keep it afloat, a woman has to sacrifice that luxury. So if you're going to come and tell me that you were awake all these nights taking care of your business, if you were awake, if you didn't eat, you skipped a few meals, you chose that. It was your choice. But I am doing it because I don't have a choice. I have to do it for my kids. I have to do it for my husband. I have to do it for my house. And it's not like it's required of me. It's not that. There is no pressure. That's the role of a woman.
So I'm going to come back again to something a little bit controversial, okay, which I think is really affecting, again, families, relationships, marriages. So the closest people in your life, okay, let's say your family, your friends, people you trust, can you really trust them? Means, imagine one of your friends, okay, you're a housewife, okay, a homemaker, okay, someone beautiful who gives beautiful energy to the house, to the husband, and has a happy home, okay, which is probably the most priceless thing on earth. A happy home is the most priceless thing on earth, okay, money cannot buy this. And so this person, she has a friend who is a working individual, okay, hustling, working. maybe that woman is frustrated in her personal life. She looks at you. I remember the two faces we discussed, two lives.
Yeah.
So inside, she is frustrated, but she comes to you and she tells you that, hey, what are you doing with your life now? So that's your friend, apparently. Okay. Then you have your family. Again, somebody who may be frustrated because of multiple reasons.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get to it. Multiple reasons, issues,
Yeah.
thing. Again, if they see you having a happy life, they know you're going through a happy life. They sometimes would want to inject something for the heck of it
Yeah.
to ruin that harmony. Because sometimes another person cannot digest.
Yeah, not even that. I think people are hypocrites, honestly. Because when a man has to do all these things
Yeah.
for business, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
He is not called, there is no, I don't know. For women, there is feminism, which is also like blown out of proportion. I don't even want to get into it. But for men, there is no such movement. I don't think so. Do you know any movement, Jan? Or for men?
A moment.
Yeah, a movement like feminism, something, no?
Manism?
For men? I don't know. But you understand. But when a woman is expected to do the basic sacrifices and all, which I think a large percentage of women are doing still, even 2026, they are like called, because she had to. Because there was nothing else to do. No, I had options. Everyone has options.
Everyone has options.
Everyone has options.
Mm-hmm.
People are so mistaken. Even a woman who, to your eyes, is not very flattering, is not very gorgeous, even there will be two people who probably would die for her. You understand? It's something in Urdu, but I'll try to translate it in English. It's not going to be the same feel, but I don't know who said it. It's some Sufi or somebody, I don't know. But he said that har chehra kisi ka mehboob hota hai. That every face is a darling to somebody.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, not even that. Like every face
Is loved by someone.
is loved by somebody, is a darling to somebody, So don't come at me and tell me that, you had, no, every woman has an option. A woman and a man who choose to sacrifice all of that to achieve this is worth it.
See, so where I was coming at is, I think one of the most powerful factor of any relationship should just be privacy. Because these individuals
Oh, Lord.
that you're around, okay, that people you trust, and they see, trust and love are two different things.
True.
You can absolutely love them. But the problem is, the second there's a problem in a relationship, your go-to people, okay, there will be 3 to 4 go-to people for everyone. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that most relationships, most families or couples, they go through. Because let's suppose there's a again, woman, wonderful, powerful, homemaker, gives energy. If she's discussing with an older generation person, or she's discussing with a working woman, they are not going to know what situation she is in. The only person who knows the situation that she is in is her. The only person who can fix is her. Same with men. Problem is, men also, the second there's a disconnect, there's a problem, they discuss with their friends, maybe single friends, maybe men who are not good husbands, they're not good businessmen, not good entrepreneurs, not good human beings. And they take suggestions from them, because normally men have really weird friends, right? Without the best of habits, because a kind, generous, good-hearted man is sometimes boring and he does not have friends. So the person who have friends are the more exciting ones.
You have no friends, yeah?
Yeah. Don't
Why
say
are
that.
you being so sad about it? It's your choice.
Don't say that. I've got a few. I've got a few.
Yeah, I've got a few.
I've got amazing people in my
but
life.
probably maybe you can literally
And I've got
count
amazing
them,
people.
yeah,
I could call them
yeah.
anytime. But
Yeah.
but don't you think that's one of the biggest concerns?
But I think that for me, privacy is not only that. Privacy is a basic respect that you can give to your partner. You understand? That you can give to your relationship. What I think is that husband and wife are like one. You understand? You are like, how do I put it across? Like, our respect is one. We share that respect. We share that pain and we share the shame. So when you are sharing the shame with somebody, it's because it's not my choice. It's not my call. If I'm going to share the respect with you and I'm asking you something that, oh, great, you did this achievement. Can I share it with the people? Normally that is what happens, right? If you do something great, people ask permission. They're like, oh, can we tell other people also? But when it comes to something really bizarre, they just go ahead and share it with people. I don't think a spouse has the right to share your private matters that probably involve bad words, probably involve a weak moment of another person, that are probably going to damage that person's respect and dignity and image to everybody else. You don't have the right. So I think that is very basic. That is as basic manners as it comes. And people are normalizing this, honestly. Like, why are people are not normalizing slapping someone? That's equally disrespectful as per me. If you cannot just, you're walking around and you cannot just slap somebody, that is a problem. This is the same thing. You cannot damage the respect and you cannot exploit the weak moment or a bad moment of your spouse. Okay, fine. If something extreme is happening, you are in something abusive, you're in something dangerous, you're in something that you really need help, for sure, go ahead. Go to the authorities, go to your family, go to your friends. In fact, go fast, like run. Yeah. But other than that, I think it's basic courtesy, basic manners. You should not be telling.
Because if I personally believe if you dig into any divorce or any separation, there'll always be one individual, could be the husband or the wife, or the man or the woman, who have discussed with multitude of people. It's so common. We have sat in so many circles where they're talking ill of each other, and it's disturbing.
It's fashion.
It's sad.
It's fashion now.
So that's, I think I personally think that's one of the biggest reasons, because it's very common now. If you're speaking ill of your spouse, because now even if you look at stand-up comedy, one of the most stand-up comedy is bashing, right? It's either husband bashing or wife bashing.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
So normally we don't have separate friend circle. We're always together with people.
Yeah.
But if in some sort of a situation I have to, I'm put in a situation where I have to sit with people and, I literally have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah. So many times I've been back and I'm like, oh my God, Jan, I had nothing to talk about. Because all the people are talking about is this, that how unhappy they are. And the opposite party and parties are actually very aggressively participating in everything, and I'm just like a lost person, and I'm like, it's not like I don't have anything to say. We also have bad days. It's fine, but it's not my place to say. It's not. I cannot.
As a man, I can agree to this, because it's so uncool to say that, hey, I'm in a happy marriage. I love my married life.
God.
I love having kids.
Are you? Ew.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is it. So I've got I've got two thoughts.
Yeah.
One is I'm scared to tell individuals that, because
can you believe?
It's weird, when you're in a social circle, everyone is talking about how frustrated they are with their marriages, with their kids, with their family life, and it's so weird,
And then there is one person, he says, dude, I'm good.
I'll be weird. They'll think I'm lying. One. Two. Then they'll be in that circle. There'll be this one single dude, okay, who lives an amazing life.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing life in terms of like, yes, he's got a nice flashy car. He travels a lot.
Yeah.
He's got nice shoes. Maybe a nice watch. All of that. And he goes around saying, oh, I'm free. I'm amazing. But then...
Maybe good for you.
No. But that's... See, I'm in business. I mean...
Yeah.
I know that person who shows off in front of all his friends sleeps sad at night. Okay. He goes back home.
Could be.
There is a certain void, you know. So I want to come to privacy.
Now the single people are gonna come at us. No, it's only you.
Yeah,
we are genuinely happy. Okay, fine. I mean, to each its own. Some people choose not to get into a relationship. I personally feel, you know why?
Yeah.
Because somewhere deep down they know that they're gonna be a disaster and they're sparing someone else of a miserable life. Good for you. Go ahead.
So all the single people who are going to come at us, I'll guarantee you one thing.
Yeah.
They'll be in their 20s or their 30s.
Yeah, you guys are babies.
They've had a few failed relationships.
Yeah.
And then they have mastered being single, and then they think they're the coolest people.
Yeah.
But there is a timeline to it.
Yeah.
At one point, they'd be like, oh shit, did I do a mistake? You know? And it'll be too late to reverse.
Talk to us about your 45, 50 years old.
Because there are no shortcuts to life.
Yeah.
Everyone tries to... It's like that movie Click.
Oh yeah, you're one of the favorite movies that you keep giving references. Yeah.
You cannot click your way.
Yeah, you cannot.
If you go through that, and anything in business, in life, in relationships, if you go through that grind, you get something beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
Diamonds are found in coal mines,
Yeah.
right? When you have to go through that.
Yeah.
Okay, so like how we discuss privacy, another extremely important point that I wanted to discuss and your thoughts on it is accountability.
Yeah, we are getting somewhere.
So I think that's another major concern that individuals have. People are unwilling to be accountable for their actions, or maybe people are being confused on their roles. Like say, for example, let's say I run a business, you know. Let's say to run a business well, you need a finance department, HR department, marketing department, sales department. Everyone's roles are defined. And as long as everyone does their individual roles, the system runs well. But now I don't think the roles are very well defined. Or is that a thing? Can you define roles in a relationship? And what are your thoughts about this, the impact of accountability?
See, I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
Even when you are talking about accountability, it's not taught, especially in our part of the world. Accountability is never taught. In fact, someone is like, the first thing that we were taught when we were children, I think my parents are gonna hate me for this, is like, yeah, pick up the call, tell uncle I'm not at home. You know? Yeah, that's true. It looks harmless, you know. Okay, I'll take accountability. We also do some things in the same lines with kids, but we're trying to control it, because sometimes you cannot just dig it out of you, you know, because people. So it starts as this harmless little thing, and then it comes to a point where if you take accountability, you are weak. If you cannot glorify and stand by your mistake, if you cannot own it, you are a weak person. Do you understand? Like, that is the basic thought process of women and men. That if you want to come off as a strong person, if you want to dominate another person in an argument, you need to own your mistake. They are told, oh dude, the moment you say I was wrong, that's it. You have lost the chips. The ball is not in your court anymore, bro. You lost it. You know? So how do you expect from people to take accountability? Because then it means you're giving the right to another person to dominate yourself. And if it's a man, oh my God, it's a sin. You know, oh my God, you're letting the woman tell you that, I was right. No, it cannot. It's just not normal. It cannot happen. How dare you?
Right.
You understand? So taking accountability is being confused with weakness. However, taking accountability actually glorifies you in the other person's eyes.
Right.
Like, for example, the understanding is that the other person is going to look at you like, oh, yeah, I told you so. But on the contrary, what happens is, if a woman says, I'm sorry, and it has happened, I have spoken to so many couples, we have, alhamdulillah, we have few but great friends, and we have deep conversations with them. Whenever a woman says sorry, the mechanical shift that happens in a man really is something that all the women should experience. And when a man says, I'm sorry, to a woman and takes accountability, how a woman glows and how at rest she feels and how much peace and protected and safe she feels, this probably also men should experiment with. No one is looking down on anybody. It's just a concept. But us experiencing it ourselves, and we have seen a lot of other people. When a person says sorry and takes accountability, half of the matter is resolved right there.
True.
Half of the problem is gone. It's finished. Whatever you're making such a fuss about is gone.
I feel like the concepts of strength and weakness itself is wrong. in most of, because people, like you said, a strong man is someone who doesn't need to be accountable. And a strong man is an arrogant, is just a buff dude. I don't even know. I feel like the concepts of strength, because when you said a man who says sorry is a very strong man.
Yeah.
A man who's accountable is a very strong man. But people don't realize it.
No, and that reflects in your professional life also. See, people who take accountability for their losses gracefully are probably the successful tier. And these are the ones, because see, I feel people are very, very gravely mistaken that you can do different things in business and you can do different things in personal life. A person has one trait. Either you have that trait to be successful or you don't. That is it. And that trait is similar for your both dimensions of life. How you are in your personal life and how you are in your business life is not separate. Do you understand? Like, I need to pay more attention to quote here, but I was listening to a man, and as per his introduction, he was a very, very, very successful multi-billionaire guy, and he said that when I get into a business with somebody, I sit with them in a restaurant, and if they're married and they look around and they turn, they look around and they turn and they look at the server or any other lady, I don't do business with them.
If they look at another lady?
Yeah. If they turn around and they're looking at the women walking, or they're like,
flirting.
They're flirting, or their eyes are like everywhere. So if this person can treat the woman that trusts and sleeps next to him for God knows how many years, what business am I going to do with this person?
Wow.
And that is true. So it is, if you are probably not having a successful relationship, there are very high chances that you're not even successful in your professional life also. You're not climbing any ladders. And vice versa. Probably if you've learned some mistakes in your business and it has changed your personality, because that also we have seen, that some people change with a loss in their business, and then they're like, they understand. Their whole personality, their whole demeanor shifts.
Get humbled.
They get humbled basically, and then they are humbled with their wives also. So I guess it's the same thing.
Again, that's a very intricate topic that you discussed that people have gotten wrong, because people are thought, especially in my industry, people are thought to be cruel, to be ruthless, to go for the kill, be unethical. It doesn't matter. All that matters is money, and all that matters is profit. But the second you realize you go for the macro picture or the bigger picture, you know,
Yeah.
and you start that ethical way of life and behavior. It reflects all over, you know, as in, so nowadays most people are heading towards a burnout or a midlife crisis,
Yeah.
right? That's because of all these practices, you know, whether it's their business or their personal life. So yeah, it all rounds down to, I guess, accountability.
No, accountability and plus the traits. I mean, how can you expect that a person can do wrong at one place and can be right in another room? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
A person who is wrong in room A is going to be wrong in room B as well.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me that, oh, no, that person just has that trait in that room, you know. He's doing bad and evil things and cheating and he's cruel in just that room. As soon as he's going to come out of this room, there is going to be some sort of magic and some sort of transformation. And when he enters this room, he's going to be another person. No, I'm not going to buy this.
So if I have to sort of summarize today's discussion, to evolve emotionally, you need privacy, accountability, flexibility, intelligence, health. Is there anything? These are what you have to primarily work. Is there anything I've missed on? Is it, like, if people work on these?
Yeah, these, and probably the another thing that is the same in the same lines. People are now desperate for advice.
What's that's okay?
You know, they're like desperate for advice. Okay, great. You need advice. It's fine. But at least take advice from the right person. Like, you can't go to a carpenter and tell them that I have a heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like, if you have a heart disease, you go to a doctor. But for a relationship, people are just taking advice from anyone and anybody.
Where do they go?
See, I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my personal experience. See, for example, if you are somebody I know and you're single, I don't discuss relationships with you. I don't. You have no business in discussing relationships with me. If you are a person who has a really, really new flourishing relationship, great. We can discuss its and bits, how initially things happen. Other than that, don't discuss relationships with me. I'm not going to give you advice. I'm not going to take advice from you. If you are a person who is probably 20 years into a happy and healthy marriage, if you have a great bond with your wife, I know you personally, I understand your dynamics, I understand the energy, great. Your advice is more than welcome. More than welcome to enter my ears. Other than that, do not give me a relationship advice. That's it. There are parameters there. For example, if someone is 1 year into the marriage and he wants to take advice from somebody probably 10 years into the marriage, or like they understand that, you know, they idealize somebody, great, go for it. But what is this? You're sitting with somebody, there's no knowledge. And on social media also, this is going to get me heat, but you know, I really don't care. But on social media also, what are the people that they're talking? I literally don't have one name to quote that I look up to on social media. And you know, I have done my research.
Yeah.
I see so many podcasts. I see so many people. Great. Individually, people are great. Like there are individual people who are doing a phenomenal job telling people about relationships, there are certified licensed practitioners, great, everything. But how experienced are they in their own life, with their own spouse, with their own wife? Nobody knows. In fact, there are some people on TikTok and Instagram that don't have a lot of views. I would rather listen to them because husband and wife are sitting there, they're sharing their everyday, they understand the depth of so many things that we're going to talk further on our podcast, and they are mentioning it so easily. Why? Because they have experienced it themselves. I would rather go listen to them.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely. Yeah. the online relationship coaches don't have a relationship themselves.
I don't know. Maybe they are hiding it from us.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Maybe you have a wonderful relationship with your spouse, but I feel, and maybe most people are now probably gonna say that, yeah, it's not for the camera. Okay, great. It's not for the camera, but at least, it should come across in some way. It's like, I don't feel the energy. At least I don't feel it.
So an individual, okay, who's in a dark space in their relationship, man or woman, okay, they don't know, they don't have the emotion. Maybe they're young, they haven't been trained. They don't have the emotional intelligence to handle the situation anymore. Because let's suppose two people in their early 20s or mid 20s get married, and one is an emotionally coddled individual and one is an emotionally distant individual, and normally they always come together, and they're in a relationship and it's a disturbing relationship. They're in a dark space, they don't know where to go. If they go to their families, probably they're going to get the wrong advice. If they go to their friends, again it's wrong. Where do they go? What do they do?
They should go inside themselves. Sit with your own self. You need to be comfortable enough to sit with your own self.
John, you're a very strong individual.
But
you cannot say that with normal people. Yeah, trust me, I've seen millions, hundreds, thousands of people.
I know, again. If we are not going to say it now, then that is the trend that's going to stay. I refuse to say something else. You need to look inside you. You need to be strong. That is what I honestly tell my siblings, my friends, family, whoever is going through a dark space, whoever is going through a bad relationship, whoever is suffering anything emotionally, I tell them, be strong, build a relationship with your own heart and brain, understand yourself, be strong. If you cannot help yourself, no one is coming to rescue you. Nobody, even me, I'm your sister, I tell this to my kids also. No one can rescue you unless you decide to rescue yourself first. See, again, we draw a line. If you are getting if something is really dark, like suicidal tendencies, we are not talking about those, then you should get help. Again, run. But other than that, if your spouse for example, you had a fight and then the woman is just like sulking in her room the entire night and talking to 10 people. No need. Don't sulk. Have a conversation with yourself. Then have a conversation with your spouse. Be strong enough to stand up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Did we take a lot of time? I think we did take a lot of time.
No, I want to just give my last comment or last sentence. I saw this beautiful video. You shared it to me, that and I love that. I think that I could end with that, where a woman is like the ocean. The ocean, there are waves, there are tides, depending on the position of the moon. Some tides are strong, some are weak, but it's beautiful. And a man is like the harbor, the wall, the stone wall. That the waves can crash into the wall, but it stays unhinged. Because that's how a relationship should be, and that's the beauty of the relationship. People complain about it now, but that is the beauty of the relationship. I'm stone, I'm unhinged. I allow you to be the ocean, and that's it. Life is a beach then.
And not ocean is very powerful.
True.
You know how powerful a wall should be.
Yeah. Brick by brick.
So yeah, it was great because I love talking to you. You know that. You're the only person, I love talking to you.
I love listening to you.
So
I think if today I am known in my circle as a powerful individual, all credit goes to you.
Oh my God. It's not scripted, guys.
I've learned.
I have not
You've helped me
had any gunpoint. No, it's not. See my hands. It's nothing.
But this should trend, right? This should start trending, where a husband very happily praises his wife in public, in private, amongst his friend circle. He should say how happy he is. He should say how wonderful marriage has changed him, how his wife has changed him, how his wife has helped him evolve. I think that should become a trend.
It's a two-way streak. It's a two-way street.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, and probably we're gonna see you next time. And see you next time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We did it.